Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Aging Committee meeting. It is Tuesday, March 4th, and we are in room 1C. At this time, I'd like to see if my co-chair has any remarks.
Just welcome everyone.
Thank you very much. And our ranking member, Senator Huang.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eager to get started, and thank you.
Great. And Representative Belinsky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to be here. We have some good business before us and then some conversations that will ensue, and looking forward to getting down to the work of the people.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, everyone. So we're going to get right into it. We have some bills to review, 13 to be exact. We're going to start with number 1. Yes, Representative Belinsky.
Madam Chair, if I might, some of these issues are very universally easy. If we could run a consent calendar, I motion that we do so.
Is there any objection to creating a consent calendar? Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, we will start a consent calendar. Thank you very much. So number 1 is House Bill number 6771. It is an act requiring health insurance coverage for biomarker testing. Is there a motion to JFS to the floor, LCO number 5781? Is there a motion?
So second.
Thank you, Rep. Belinsky and Rep. Fortier. Discussion.
Madam Chair, seeing as there's discussion, I would motion this bill to our consent calendar.
Great. This
If
item.
I may, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Senator Wong.
Yes, sorry. Slow to the Zoom. I just like to be able to make some comment on it if I could, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this bill is one of the reasons why the Aging Committee, with its cognizance and commitment to addressing the aging community, that this is one where we may bounce up against some of the challenges in regards to appropriations and funding. And for me, as the co-chair of the Bipartisan Bioscience Caucus, supporting bioscience and genomic diagnostic innovations like biomarkers are one of the real medical science miracles that can save lives. And we've learned that from passionate advocacy organizations like the Alzheimer's Association, American Cancer, and I'm going to be supporting this bill. But I'm also anxious to learn from our Office of Fiscal Analysis that will be providing a fiscal note on this bill, and it will be an important determinant as we move forward to see if it can be a cost-effective way. But I wholeheartedly, in the Aging Committee and listening to the advocates, will look to support this. But I really wanted to note that it is going to be a challenge based upon the fiscal note that this bill may encompass. And my hope is that we continue to support our bioscience innovators and ensure that they create an economy of scale to lower these kind of costs of life-saving biomarkers, because ultimately these are the kind of innovations that are so important to saving lives. So I'll be supporting this bill, but I do want to share that as many of these other bills that we'll be considering, and many of the people that may be voting no in the committee as it moves forward, as many of my colleagues in the Human Services as well as Appropriations fully understand, some of these bills that we're passing as part of the Aging Committee will have a fiscal note. And if they vote no, it is not because they don't support these very important and critical aging support and life-saving issues. They're just very conscious in regards to the budgetary challenges that we experience in the state of Connecticut. So again, I'll be very supportive of this bill. I believe biomarkers are an essential part of saving lives, and but I really did want to make note that there is going to be a fiscal note that we need to be cautious and be aware of. So thank you, Madam Chair, and I fully support this bill coming out of the committee.
Thank you, Senator Huang. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, is there any objections to placing House Bill 6771 on the consent calendar? Seeing no objections, we will place it on consent. Thank you. Number 2 is House Bill number 6991, an act concerning asset limits for Husky C beneficiaries. I would entertain a motion to JFS to the floor. It is LCO 5800. Is there a motion to
Stop.
JFS to the floor?
So moved.
Thank you, Rep. Hughes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rep. Portia. Is there discussion? Yes, Rep. Case.
Madam Chair, I'd be voting against this today. This is putting out false hope. We've had this 8 years in human services. The cost of this is anywhere from $1.4 billion to $4 billion, whichever way you look at it. So we've had fiscal notes on it. So it's just not doable right now. We haven't even done our rates increases. So we have to look at where the numbers, where we can do things. We've tried this for 8 years in human services, and the cost just doesn't get us there. So I will be voting no today.
Thank you, Rep. Case. Yes, Rep. Nolan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to support this to get it through and see what final discussions we can come up with when we talk more on it. I think it's important to consider the discussions that might come. So I'm going to be supportive of it to find out more information.
Thank you so much. Senator Wong online.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I appreciate the good Representative Case and the ranking member of Human Services. He's taught me a lot about this issue and their leadership on this and raising the financial cost of such a endeavor. But I will share with you, for me, it is a fairness issue. And most important of all, it is to understand that this threshold limit of $1,600 for Husky C qualification has not changed since 1973. Get a load of that. 1973, that we have not made any changes to this threshold. And I think this committee is fully aware of the feedback from Human Services and the budgetary cost. There are numbers that are just mind-boggling in regards to potential increases to the initial proposal of this bill to $10,000. But I think through listening to the feedback of people and well-intentioned people that believe something needs to be done, this committee's leadership made the substitute language to make that change tied to cost of living indexing. So it's not a set dollar amount, but rather a consideration that there needs to be some movement reflecting the changing cost of inflation and the challenges and the needs of a dollar's value worth. So I want to commend the previous advocates of this, and I hope that they'll join us in seeing that this is a small but a incremental that ties into. Imagine that if we had had a cost of living indexing since 1973 to the 1,600 threshold limit, my kind of fast calculating math would be the threshold limit then would be around $12,800 if we had that indexing. So the fact that we've not made that change since 73, I think it is, again, as I mentioned earlier on the first bill on the mile marker, it is the important role and leadership and the commitment that we have in the Aging Committee leadership. And I hope the committee members to send a statement that these are the right things to do on behalf. And we're going to be very cognizant of the fiscal note as we move forward. But to have no movement since 73, I think the compromise we're offering of a cost of living indexing is a positive move forward. And I hope that the Appropriations Committee, as well as the Governor's Office and its budgetary discussions, will consider that as a positive step forward. So I support this bill, but I appreciate the individuals that have voted no on this because it is a significant cost, and our leadership substitute language took account of it and reduced that financial burden. So I wholly support this bill. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Huang. Other comments or questions? Seeing none?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Rep. Polinsky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm gonna echo some of what my fellow ranking member said. It's it's a very, it's very trying for me to think that it's been 62 years since we've done a cost of living increase on something this important. And I will tell you that we are at a woeful comparison to our neighboring states and pretty much every other state in the country. We can't make up for it all in one fell swoop. So I do also believe that the cost of living indexing at least gives us a foot in the door. You know, you can't necessarily cry over spilled milk, but prior legislatures made the decision to walk away from this problem, and now it's such a huge problem that we're going to need a concerted strategy to be able to deal with it. That concerted strategy is going to be of the magnitude that Governor Lamont is undertaking right now in getting our long-term liabilities on pensions under control. It's that important. So I will be supporting the cost of living increase and also on the lookout for the fiscal note. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Belinsky. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll, please.
We have a vote to JFS to the floor, LCO 5800, House Bill number 6911. Senator Hockenell,
Senator Hockenell votes yes.
Representative Garibay,
Garibay votes yes.
Senator Miller, Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Senator Huang,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Walensky is a yes.
Representative Case, Representative DiGiovancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
No.
Representative Napoli, and Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk, and we will be leaving the votes open until 1 o'clock. Number 3 is House Bill 6912, an act establishing an Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Advisory Council. The proposed action is a JFS to the floor. It is LCO 5805. Is there a motion to JFS to the floor?
There's a motion.
Thank you, Representative Garibay.
Seconded.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
I don't believe there are comments or questions. I would ask that we motion this one onto the consent calendar as well.
Is there any objection to placing this item on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could please put House Bill number 6912, LCO 5805 on the consent calendar. Number 4 is House Bill 6913, an act concerning LGBTQ plus discrimination in long-term care facilities. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF this bill to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Rep. Fortier and Senator Marks. Is there discussion? Yes, Representative Belinsky.
Madam Chair, the thing that comes to mind on this particular bill is that protections for this and so many other affected groups are already in our Constitution and in statute, and we even have the Commission of Women, Seniors, et cetera, that deals with these issues. So I don't necessarily believe that this is something that's necessary, but I'm willing to listen to people's arguments. So fundamentally, I believe everybody deserves to live in a dignified way and be respected by not just the their fellow residents, but by the staff of facilities that serve them, but we don't necessarily need a carve out for every single group. And I'll probably be a no on this.
Thank you, Representative Belinsky. Rep. Garabay.
So the reason this has come to our attention, I totally agree with my colleague that everybody deserves the same protection, but at different pockets of time, different people or groups of people sometimes get targeted. And I have heard from many people about being targeted, especially in nursing homes. So to me, it's just calling attention to it. It's saying, no, this isn't right. So I would respectfully like to see it move forward.
Thank you, Representative Garabay. Other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll.
We have a vote to JF to the floor, HB number 6913. Senator Hockendahl,
Senator Hockendahl votes yes.
Representative Garabay,
Garabay votes yes.
Senator Miller, Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Senator Huang,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Belinsky votes no.
Representative Case, Representative DiGiovancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Hughes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto, Representative Napoli, Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Once again, we will be leaving votes open till 1. Number 5 is House Bill 6972, an act concerning transfers and discharges in residential care homes. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF to the floor?
So moved.
Thank you, Representative Hughes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rep. Belinsky. Is there any discussion?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Chair, but this really is just amending our involuntary discharge procedures and notice right now. So it's almost as if it's a tech revision. So I see no objection to that. And if my cohorts also don't, I would motion this one to the consent calendar.
Is there any objection to putting House Bill 6972 on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please add item number 5 to the consent calendar. Number 6 is House Bill 6986. It is an act establishing a senior citizens Bill of Rights. The proposed action is JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF this bill to the floor?
So moved.
Thank you, Rep. Hughes and Rep. Nolan. Any discussion? Yes, Rep. Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So from what I'm understanding and reading the language, this is still a work in progress. We don't have a definite. And for that reason, I'm voting no, because if I don't know what the bill is and what it's going to do here, I can't support it. So that's my reason for a no. We should have things that are ready to go out of committee. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll, please.
We have a vote to JF to the floor, HB number 6986. Senator Hockendahl,
Senator Hockendahl votes yes.
Representative Garabay,
Garabay votes yes.
Senator Miller, Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Senator Huang,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Representative Belinsky's a yes.
Representative Case, Representative DiGiovancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
No.
Representative Napoli. Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Item number 7 is House Bill 7006, an act concerning tuition waivers for the nursing home residents who will take online courses at regional community technical colleges. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF House Bill 706006, to the floor?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Is there any comments or discussion? Representative Belinsky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that the tuition waivers are already in effect for 62 and above residents of nursing homes. So all this is doing is it's opening that same waiver to nursing home residents that are under the age of 62. So you know, I'm in favor of moving it forward and seeing if it has a fiscal note, and then making our final determination on the floor. So if there's no further questions from my colleagues, I would motion this piece of legislation to the consent calendar as well.
Is there any other comments or questions? Seeing none, is there any objection to placing this on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could please put HB number 7006 on the consent calendar. Number 8 is House Bill 7007. It's an act providing an income tax deduction for individuals caring for elderly persons, children, or disabled person. The proposed action is a JF to finance. Is there a motion to JF this bill to finance?
So moved.
Thank you, Rep. Hughes.
Second.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments? Okay.
I would motion this bill to also to the consent calendar, Madam Chair.
Is there any objection to putting this on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please add HB 7007 to the consent calendar. Item number 9 is Senate Bill 1175, an act concerning public hearings for certain rate increases at assisted living facilities. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF this to the floor?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Sec.
Thank you, Rep. Portier. Comments or questions? Yes, Rep. Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So when it says certain rate increases, can somebody explain what certain rate increases are? And if they are rate increases, I'm assuming that this is probably already in the rates bill in human services, so it would be moot here for you.
This is assisted living rep case, so I don't think it's necessarily in human services. I mean, it's not convalescent homes. It's assisted living, which normally is not covered by Medicare or Medicaid.
Okay, then somebody tell me what certain rates mean.
Yes, absolutely. If you look at line 10, if the fee increase exceeds 10% of the previous fee, then a public information hearing will be held no later than 30 days prior to the fee increase.
Okay, so realistically, a facility can go to 9.9% rate increase every year and not be combined by this.
That is correct. They would have to go to the 10% threshold.
Okay.
Senator Huang.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I think this arose out of a recent phenomenon where fee-for-service assisted living facilities would give less than 30-day notices with double-digit rate increases, leaving many of the residents as well as their caregiver families without a lot of recourse. And there was no opportunity to engage in any conversation that I've seen cases of 25 to 30% rate increases in the days of December, taking action on the 1st of January. So it was a very frustrating. I remember, in fact, one of the proponents of this bill, Senator Slapp, was addressing some of that occurring to his constituency. And I know from my constituency that has occurred as well. This follows at the 10% rate increase along the lines of long-term care insurance that we put in as legislation to give greater transparency and an opportunity for people who are held captive in some cases in regards to care assisted living facilities for their loved ones, at least to have an opportunity to get some vetting and transparency and accountability. So the 10%, indeed, if somebody wants to game it at 9.9, they will be held accountable from the public opinion that this is a game that they're pulling. But if they're exceeding that 10% increase, then people should have a chance to have their voices be heard and fully understand why these increases are occurring, affecting their loved ones. So I believe this is a good bill related to transparency, accountability, and giving the constituents that are at assisted living facilities. And most of them are very good actors. But for those that are taking advantage, we want to be sure that they're held accountable.
Thank you, Senator Wong. Are there other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll. Oh, sorry, hold it, Representative Belinsky.
Madam Chair, I'd like to suggest motioning this to the consent calendar.
Okay, is there any objection to putting Senate Bill 1175 on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please add item 9 to the consent calendar. We are on number 10, Senate Bill 1278 is an act concerning long-term care insurance premium rates. The proposed action is a JF reference to insurance and real estate. Is there a motion to JF this to insurance?
So moved.
Thank you, Representative Hughes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments?
I'll motion this one to the consent calendar, Madam Chair.
Is there any objection to putting Senate Bill 1278 on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please add item 10 to the consent calendar. We are on number 11, Senate Bill 1279, an act concerning nursing home staffing ratios. The proposed action is a JFS to the floor. It is LCO 5816. Is there a motion to JFS to the floor?
So moved.
Thank you, Representative Garibay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Representative Hughes. Comments or questions? Rep Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is an ongoing thing with hours and staffing. We still haven't codified last year's change from human services to 3.0. We still have to work on that and get that stabilized. I don't think it's proper for us to, again, move that up when we haven't done what we did last year. So I will be voting no on this until we can codify what we took place last year and passed out of both out of the committee and both chambers.
Thank you, Representative Case. Representative Garibay.
I kind of thought the same until I saw the numbers from the agency, from the nursing homes, and they are saying that they are at 3.6 and the not-for-profits are at 4.1. So all we are is bringing the legislation up to what they're already doing. So I think it's very appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments or questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Representative Belinsky.
It's my understanding that we in last year's session brought the 3.6 forward and it's still in regulation review. So I concur with Representative Case's concern that we're bringing a new bill into the picture when we have not addressed the changing of the statute to achieve what Rep has told us we've already largely achieved, and it's still in reg review. So why don't we allow that process to play itself out and then move forward from there? So I believe I'm going to be a no on this one as well.
Thank you, Representative Belinsky. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could please call the roll for item number 11.
The vote is to JFS to the floor with LCO 5816, SB number 1279. Senator Hockedel,
Senator Hockendahl is a yes.
Representative Garabay,
Garabay's a yes.
Senator Miller, Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier, yes.
Senator Wong,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Polinsky,
Rep. Polinsky's a no.
Representative Case,
Representative Case, no.
Representative D. Giancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
No.
Representative Napoli, Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Item number 12 is SB 1280. It is an act concerning the responsibility of the Community Ombudsman Program. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF SB 1280 to the floor?
Seconded.
Thank you, Rep. Polinsky. I'm sorry, was it Martha? Oh, Rep. Hughes, thank you. Any comments or questions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to happily motion this one to the consent calendar.
Thank you. Is there any objection to putting Senate Bill 1280 on the consent calendar? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please add item 12 to the consent calendar. And last, we have number 13 is Senate Bill 1332, an act concerning nursing home and accountability in nursing home ownership by private equity companies and real estate investment trusts. The proposed action is a JF to the floor. Is there a motion to JF SB 1332 to the floor? Thank you, Representative Garabay.
Second.
Thank you, Representative Fortier. Is there comments or discussion? Yes, Rep. Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I tell you, I talked to a lot of nursing homes. And in fact, I was talking to one at 2:30 this morning because I lost a family member in a nursing home this morning. But these nursing homes are struggling. And a lot of businesses, whether it's nursing homes, business that I'm in, others, private equity companies come in. I've been trying to work to get nursing homes the ability so their rates will go up so they can do more renovations. The only way they can actually do that is to relinquish to a private equity, but still run it themselves. They need to change ownership in order to change those rates. What we're going to do if we try to, my belief, if we try to put something on the private equity or the ownership of the buildings, we're going to start losing more nursing homes because they can't do the renovations. I get it, but it's not a nonprofit world out there anymore. There's a lot of expensive things you have to do within these nursing homes. The bricks and mortars are the most important thing. And the way things cost today, the private equities have done some good stuff. We do want to control how things are taken care of and where their reimbursement monies go. I think it's a slippery slope. We have to be careful what we wish for. And I'd rather see these facilities, the bricks and mortars, get improved along with the quality of care. How we do that, we need to get their rates up to where they should be. And that's what we're working on in many different committees throughout this building. So right now I cannot support this. I don't think it's the right way to go. I understand that people are concerned because more private equity investors are coming in, but they're coming into every type of business throughout not only this state, but other states too, because most that run businesses don't have the equity to improve their bricks and mortar. So until we can fix that, I think we're in a spot where we have to accept them coming.
Thank you, Representative Case. Rep. Nolan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've also been in contact with a few nursing homes, especially in our area, and it is the belief of those that I have talked to, and from reading some of the language that, especially in, I think it was lines 14 to 24, that it's very broad, and it could hinder some of our nursing homes and potential buyers. Though I don't know much about it and I need to read up more on it, I'm thinking that I would support it through the committee, but I really would like to talk about changing some of the language in the bill so it's not so restrictive, and also so that we can make sure that it works for our nursing home owners and it's satisfactory to satisfactory or fair to all instead of just how it's written at this time. So I will support it, but I really will be looking to change some of the language in it. And be glad to talk to anybody further about it if need be today.
Thank you so much, Representative Nolan. Any other comments, Representative Valinsky?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. You know what? I want to enthusiastically get on board with what Rep. Nolan said. I've not only have I visited a lot of nursing homes, but I've heard from a lot of very reputable companies that are concerned with the broadness of this language and the need for us to delineate between what we mean by private equity versus that real estate trust piece, which I believe are very, very different from one another. So rather than regulating ourselves out of having upgrades to facilities by qualified owners, as Rep. Case alluded, I too believe that we need to sit at the table with industry representatives and, folks from, OPM perhaps and hash out just exactly where we're trying to put this discipline. So I will probably take a different approach and be a no on it, but I really, really do welcome further conversation.
Thank you, Representative Valinsky. Senator Juan, did you have a comment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to acknowledge and align many of the thoughts that's shared by the House members of Case, Valinsky, and Nolan. These are important matters, and I do believe it is the commitment of the leadership of this committee to see this bill as a work in progress. And as Representative Case articulated, private equity is in every aspect of our business and lives. But I take a step back and I'll be supporting this bill because I think a message need to be sent from a standpoint of fairness and transparency in how they conduct their practice. We have seen horrible cases of private equity owned homes that shut off without notice and impact a large number of residents without recourse. And we've also heard quite a bit in regards to healthcare delivery systems of Prospect Health, which on a private equity basis made a business decision that would impact lives of many, many people that depend on their health care. So this bill I see through our leadership conversations is a balancing act to make sure that private equity have every right to do business, every right to make product and have an economic model to make a profit. But that profit comes at a point where they also need to balance it with healthcare and social responsibility. That is the unique aspect in regards to our healthcare and senior care delivery system. So I think this is a effort by this committee leadership to begin this conversation, to kind of weed out the good actors versus the bad actors and make sure that there are some considerations and guardrails in place to make sure that these bad actors do not eviscerate and just break down quality standards of care and then leave the residents standing. I think to anyone that wonders why this bill was raised, it is our committee leadership's consideration that there are many other people that have been hurt by the callousness of bad private equity businesses, and we're trying to maintain a balancing of fairness and proper care for our senior residents. So I'll be supporting this bill moving forward, but obviously taking note of the feedback that's been given by many of our colleagues, respected colleagues, that this continues to be a work in progress. And I'd like to be able to have the chairs acknowledge that this continues to be a work in progress as we support this moving forward.
Thank you, Senator Wong. Representative Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to remind the public and our committee members that 70% of our long-term, nursing home residents are Medicaid patients, which, the state is responsible for that financial accountability piece. So because, we want transparency in the accountability of our both state and federal Medicaid dollars going to their care. We want to ensure that private equity companies and real estate investment trusts are spending the majority of that dollar on their care and not on profit. So that part of it, I really want to see go through, but not banning private equity. But I really want to see those guardrails, as Senator Wong said, to ensure that there's accountability and yeah, transparency for how those dollars are being spent. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
And I just want to echo what the fine senator said. We sit in Waterbury with a debacle actually because the private equity had come in. They've taken profits over patients. They've decimated the hospital. We have tremendous workers, tremendous staff there that are still giving top quality care there, but they made a decision to basically siphon all the money out of the hospital, all the profit out of the hospital, and they've kept it to themselves. I agree with the Representative Case. We do have to walk that fine line of over-regulating and making sure that we do give these homes a lifeline. I will be supporting the bill, especially with the what is going on in Waterbury. But I do hope that it is fine-tuned a little bit to make sure that we do give these nursing homes a lifeline to a reputable, good actor, hopefully. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, if you could call the roll for SB 1332, please.
We have a vote to JF to the floor, Senate Bill number 1332. Senator Hockendahl,
Senator Hockendahl votes yes.
Representative Garabay,
Garabay votes yes.
Senator Miller,
Senator Miller votes yes.
Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Senator Wong,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Representative Belinsky votes yes.
Representative Case, Representative DiGiovancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
No.
Representative Napoli,
Yes.
Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Could you now call the items that are on the consent calendar?
Yes, we have a consent calendar consisting of 9 bills. House Bill 6771, LCO 5781. House Bill 6912 with LCO 5805. House Bill 6972. House Bill 7006. House Bill 7007. Senate Bill 1175. Senate Bill 1278. And Senate Bill 1280.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Could you please call the roll on the consent calendar? Nick, do I need a motion? Do I need a motion? You need a motion. Call the roll call. Okay. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
A vote on the consent calendar.
Yes.
Senator Hockendahl,
Senator Hockendahl votes yes.
Representative Garabay,
Garabay votes yes.
Senator Miller,
Senator Miller votes yes.
Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Senator Wong,
Senator Huang votes yes.
Representative Belinsky,
Belinsky votes yes.
Representative Case, Representative DiGiovancarlo,
Yes.
Representative Hughes,
Yes.
Senator Maroney, Senator Marks,
Yes.
Representative Pizzuto, Representative Napoli,
Yes.
Representative Nolan.
Nolan in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. And again, we will be holding the votes open till 1. So the next meeting, excuse me, is Thursday, March 6th. And we are in recess until 1. Thank you very much.
Alex, I have to vote.
Hi, yes.
Hello.
Um,
Do you want me to hold on?
sorry,
Oh, there you go.
it's giving some feedback just because of, I think because I'm in the room. So actually, I think it might be all right now.
Okay.
So, all right, I have Representative Napoli here as well. So let's take both your votes and feedback just because of, all right, I think because I'm in the room. So actually, I think it might be all right now.
If you
So,
want to take care of Representative Napoli, you can do that
Senate Bill
first.
1279. Representative Napoli here as well. So let's take
1279,
feedback just because of, all right,
Yes.
I think because I'm in the room.
yes.
Actually, I think it might be all right now.
Hey, Ron.
How are you?
Good.
Here we go. Yep. Which is an act concerning nursing home staffing ratios.
Mhm.
To the floor, I'll go 5816.
Yep. Yes.
Bill 1279. So, and Senator Miller?
Vote yes.
Okay. Yes, for Napoli. Okay. Go back to the beginning here. The agenda, House Bill
6911.
6986.
Yes.
Nope, 6911. Where is that? Sorry.
What do you want? The first one is 6911. That's number 2.
There
There we go. Yeah, sorry, my papers are out of order. Yes. House Bill
That's right. I'll keep you
6911.
organized, Alex.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, House Bill 6911. So
I vote
what was
yes.
your vote on that, Senator Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then House Bill 6913. An act concerning LGBTQ plus discrimination in long-term care facilities. JF to the floor.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And then House Bill 6986. Which is an act establishing a senior citizens Bill of Rights. JF to the floor. Senator Miller?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And then yep, and then Senate Bill 1332. Actually, you were.
What about
you're for that one, so you're
707?
good. You're all set.
Thank you.
What about number 8707?
Which one?
7007.
That
Number
one
8.
was on the consent calendar.
Oh, I didn't get that. So, okay.
Yep.
That was on the consent. And what was the next one?
Did we already do that?
So we're all set?
One second. Sorry, just one second. Yes, you're all set, Senator Miller.
Okay, call me if there are any problems.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Alex.
Yep.